Okay, folks, let's get rid of some of the stuff that's in the way here that we do not need. Yeah, these things are filthy. I can't see through them. So, did a couple little guns out of the way last night and this morning. Got a German 75 millimeter infantry gun and a little 37 millimeter anti-tank gun. Each comes with two crew members from Zvezda. And I went ahead and sprayed the base pattern of the counter scheme here for this universal carrier. This A13 is eventually going to have something similar to it, but I wanted to use these colors from AK and did kind of a masking technique, and I think it turned out pretty well. So the next thing we're going to need is give it a brown wash, and then we can go in and tinker with that stuff. And while that's drying, we can work on our Africa Core half track. So, gotta hop around or, just lose momentum. And I gotta make sure I can find the wheels for this. They have little rubber wheels. I believe this is a Fujimi kit. Or was. I've had it a long time. And it's kind of my experiment on what I want this to look like. I don't know what I want it to look like, but I know that what I won't like it to look like when I see it. So in all those scenarios in that scenario book I have for North Africa, there's only one German half track in any of them, so this will be the one. But before we do any of that stuff, we need to eliminate this. We're not going to be painting on that. And let's go ahead and put this back down. And let's clean some of this crap up. I know that's exciting. I'm coming on here and you get to see me clean things up. We don't need these instructions. We'll throw those instructions away. I don't know that I'll do a show tomorrow. I don't really want to do a show on election night, and nobody's watching my show because they're watching election night coverage. I mean, if I'm going to do a show and nobody's going to watch, I might as well not even film it. Makes sense to me. All right. So we need to put the counter. We need to put a thin wash on the. Ooh, what's this? This is the one that has epoxy on it. All right, let's get that stuff off. Oh, it's kind of sticky still. All right, we don't need one that bad. So we're going to get some of this strong tone. I like using this darker stuff. We're just going to go over it lightly. So we can get some shadows in there and then we'll make them disappear again. That's the same thing this Africa Core vehicle got. But the next color we do on the Africa Core vehicle will look very different. this is my first attempt airbrushing something, masking something off with a hard edge. And it worked really well, actually. And this was that paint that I really disliked, that AK third generation paint. And it sputtered like a silly string. And then I read that you needed to thin it, that it worked well with a thinner, thinning it 50%. So half thinner, half paint, and that's what I did, and it worked pretty well. It sprayed it, I was spraying it about 18 PSI, something like that, under 20, and it worked really well. So that's good. So the base color is actually Ammo MIG, their Portland Stone equivalent, but the other two shades, the silver gray and the slate, are actually third generation AK. And if this goes well, then we're going to do the A13 as well. Now I thought it was just like an arbitrary pattern, but there's set patterns of what these camouflage schemes need to look out like on per vehicle, which is a little disappointing. But there's a little bit of wiggle room. It's not like they come out of the factory that way, like some die-cast toy that you buy that always looks a certain way. No, there's still painted in the field, so there's room for error. So to speak, margin of error. And we'll see if somebody comes on tonight, so we can entertain each other. Now this silver gray, which is pretty misnamed, is almost invisible. It is. It's okay there. On this side, it's almost invisible. But we're going to be brush painting it over those areas. This is the same way we handled the Matilda, and it turned out really well. Alright, so this thing's going to go dry over there. Alright, we did the same thing with the Africa Core half track. Same thing. We're going to rinse this right now. Let's get this stuff off of us. Now, the African Core half track was actually originally gray. And then we did some sand growl. I believe that's what it's called, sand growl overspray, which honestly looked like off-white. And then I dry brushed, these are the colors that are in the actual dirt of the base color. Is green ochre. It's British uniform green ochre and then dark sand. So we're not going to go back over with green ochre. We're going to just go directly to dark sand on top of it. So that should lighten it up quite a bit. Not make it look so dunkelgelbish, not so mustard. Hello, viewer. The one viewer. Oh, it's you. That's one of my favorite viewers. What's up, man? Well, I did my first counter scheme, which worked really well. But, we darkened it with a wash, so, this is the same color here. Which is fine, because that doesn't look right. So in between that, we're going to go mess with this half track, this Africa Core half track. And before I go and paint the tracks, which is what I would normally do, now I would go paint the tracks and stuff, and then dry brush this. I'm going to make sure that I'm on the right track. You make sure that I'm going to get the color that I think I'm going to get. Oh, universal carrier? Well, this is how it was. That's the first thing I airbrushed with using a hard edge mask up against it. The tape didn't work. The tape actually pulled some of the paint out underneath, even though I let it wait 24 hours. And I don't want to buy specific Tamiya paint. So I'm fine hard edging it like that. See, it's almost like a light green. It's almost like a Western approaches green, that even though it's called light gray or something like that. So we gave it the wash, and then what we're going to go in is we're going to go and each one of those colors we're going to come in and dry brush it back on again, kind of thing, and then lighten it up. I'm pretty sure it will look fine. This I don't know yet. I'm not throwing it in. I haven't done this to the point where I'm comfortable with it. So let's hope this turns out all right. So I'm going to do some desert stuff just to mix it up. So this is one of the lightest colors that we have on the desert one, on the desert basing, is this sand. So it's awfully yellow, so I got to be really careful. Let's get most of this off. And I don't want this to look like Dunkelgelb. I want it to look slightly different. Ever so slightly different. And I think we're going to get where we need to be. I mean, I haven't done it before, but I have a clue. I have lots of experience on what doesn't work. So if you just avoid that stuff, avoid all the things in the past that you've failed at or have turned out less than ideal. If you're going to dry brush multiple colors, they can't all be like really light, faded looking. Like make the last one being faded looking, but it's all right to have some brighter colors in here. Like this green ochre kind of has some mustardness to it, and that works pretty well. I'm just going to go over this, and then I'm going to step away from it and see if I'm happy with how it turns out. I'm really happy with how it turns out. Now let me grab, I know this is not the final thing. Let's grab something that's Dunkelgelb. Okay, let's grab one of these Panthers. Yeah, it's a little richer in color. Is this a black line Panther? Yes. Okay. I've had this thing a long time. I think this is a Fujimi one. You wrote dark sand, but I meant desert yellow. Interesting. I take the sand approach, Dunkel Gelb. Give it a wash, then dry brush with either a combo of Dunkel Gelb dark sand or just dark sand. Yep. Well, the wash does a couple things. It adds a warm hue in there, and that can simulate either dirt or modulation or just, instead of it just looking like a straight color. Which, you know, if you go to a museum and you look at something painted, it's all one color. I mean, it's all like painted this. It doesn't look right. I mean, the miniatures actually look better than the real vehicles, generally. Okay, we're on the right track. We're definitely on the right track. I'm wearing a big happy hat. So, and I started off with a gray vehicle. And I don't know if I needed to start with a gray vehicle, but I'm going to do that from now on. Not only I start with a gray vehicle, I start with a gray vehicle that I had some of the blue in it with it. Totally unnecessary, but let's see if I can find those little wheels. The rubber. I mean, there were all the, well, let me look here first. Make sure they're not up here. Oh, we got tracks galore up here. Oh, up. Now I got a lot of wheels here. A lot of these are SDKFZ 251s, Ds. So they all should be the same. If there's two that are different, they're the ones that go to this half track. And I'm probably not going to find them if all these are over there, because they were all hanging out together. Ooh, we got a little crooked spider flag there. Let me see what that looks like. Yeah, it looks pretty good. We're not going to show that on film. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so these are the actual tires for the SDKFZ 251Ds, because there's 6 of them and I have 3 of them. Okay, so these aren't the tires for that. And do they even fit? Maybe. I might could make them fit, but oh look, and it came off. I didn't even put it that hard on there. Good Lord. No, something else to repair. All right. So that's not them. Before I end up falling in love with this vehicle and then don't have the wheels for it. Let's see if perchance I can find where it is. Well, it's not there. I don't know if I'm going to be successful to find it on a fly like this. Yeah, here's the 251D. Yeah, see, it's much yellower. It's much greener. It's a much greener yellow. This is also 1/76 scale. it's going to be easy to find. I'll find it, but I don't think it's easy to find. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, because I don't want to jump ship again. I'm going to pretend that I have the wheels on there. Okay, I'm going to pretend like I'm going to find them. I don't like the fact that this fell off, though. That's not very comforting. So we're going to super glue this thing on. Because I really wanted to finish the finish color of it. See where that takes us. I think I'm going to be happy with it. Might actually be a good job for epoxy. But this thing's beat up. It's missing both of the headlamps. I believe it's the Fujimi one. But an SU-251, it is not. It is a Fujimi one. I have an SU one, and I have a, what else do I have? I have a Matchbox one. No, I don't know where the Matchbox one is. It's definitely the earliest version of one. How do I like this Zvezda kit? I don't like Zvezda. I don't like them. They're way too delicate. The figures are exceptional. These 4 figures are exceptional figures. I have some Zvezda Russians. They're not very good in the gun crew. These gun crew figures are exceptional. Very, very good. Very, very good. Okay, so good. So good. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to blackline this bitch. We're going to blackline this. All right? Because honestly, I really enjoy blacklining things. I almost find it a little weird saying that, but it is. Where's my miraculous brush? Is it this one? This is the one. Let's move that out of the way. I don't want to be reaching over that thing. Yeah, the Zvezda kits are very, very delicate. And I am going to put the little palm tree things on here. I don't like the STKFZ-D model. I actually like this one the best. I think this is a B. It's got the split nose. The D is the version with a straight side angle in the back. Yes. Mm-hmm. It looks unfinished. You know, I like German stuff because it's complicated looking. If you make things look simplistic, well, that just takes the German out of the German things. Yeah, and the little rust spots on this thing are going to be. I like this finish a lot. So this was gray, sand growl, which I don't know. I don't know that that did that much, but it did highlight some areas that were. It added some contrast, so a lighter contrast. Then I dry brushed with green ochre. Then I did this. Then the strong tone wash, and then I did the dark sand over it. And then we're probably going to do some pale sand, picking some things out. But it should give it. If this is kind of what the overall color is going to be finished like. Let's compare this to light stone, a light stone finish vehicle for the Brits. See, it's a little different and it's darker. And if you look at next to the Italians, it's similar to the Italians, but probably less yellowy. If you compare it to that Panzer One that I did, like, hey, let me make it gray, and this just has the ochre on top of it. I don't know that this has any black lining on it though. So I'm probably going to take this same thing and color the sand on top of it a little bit. It actually looks pretty cute. But now I don't really want an arm. I don't want this to be a regimental vehicle, but shit happens. You also don't like the 250 new, but you like the earlier 250s. You know, you're preaching to the choir, my friend. What can I say? You have good taste, and you know what you're talking about. We're gonna have a really hard time having an argument when we agree on things like that. Totally agree, man. Totally agree. Yeah, I don't like the new one. Some guy was trying to start a trash post on one of the history things yesterday. He said something about, the Panzer III that had a pop gun. I'm like, a Panzer III, sure it had a pop gun at the same time that everything else had a pop gun. It was designed to fight things with a pop gun. I'd say the worst thing about a Panzer III is that there weren't separate hatches like the Panzer IV for the driver, the assistant driver to get out. That's really the worst thing about it. You know, it wasn't unreliable, not by German standards. What's that mean? You know what I mean. It wasn't unreliable by German standards. And yeah, it couldn't put a long 75 in it. I mean, unless it was a Stug. It's an attractive vehicle. Once they put Rommelbox. I think Rommelbox, what I heard somebody call the container in the back. It's where they kept the Powerade in. When they went to the desert, they had needed a bin to keep the Powerade in. I'll tell you, I'd tell you, I like the duck to get you going, but that would be a big fat lie. Yeah. Stevie Wonder doesn't like the duck. That's that ugly. Even he can see it. And it was probably a good vehicle in real life, but I don't care. It's ugly. I don't think a Sherman's ugly. I think a duck is ugly as shit. And while it's not important in war, it is important in motivation to build it. I'll have one day, just so I can make fun of how ugly it is. Well, the 88 I'm getting is going to be for North Africa. And I wanted to solve how my North African Germans are going to look before I start painting it. And I'm going to do some splinter camouflage and a darker color on it. On a base like this. It's going to look like this, but with splinter camouflage on it. I saw an illustration or something of it, and it looks pretty cool. You know, on the gun shield, just on the gun shield. Just on the gun shield. You know what I never call these vehicles? I never call them PSW, like they do an advanced squad leader. They'd call this would call this a PSW 251. I don't. I always call them an SDKFZ 251. I'm SPW. Schützenpanzerwagen. PSW would be the armored cars. Panzersbeiwagen. I just always call them SDKFZ this or the other. Actually, the German tanks have an SDKFZ code as well, but I don't ever call them that. A fire extinguisher. get some water. I'll be right back. You think Chad mailed out your order today? Think you'd do an Amtrak for a duck? Absolutely. I would do an Amtrak before a duck. So I think this Africa Core half track, I don't think I'm going to put numbers on it. There's only one of them. You think Chad mailed out your order today? What item are you most excited about of all of the items? He made them pretty quick. I'm not going to get any more stuff from him until I put a dent on some of this stuff. And it's not because this stuff isn't awesome, because it is. It just, I need to put a dent on this stuff. And no, somebody didn't tell me I couldn't get more of it. It just, I keep myself on a pretty short leash. You know, you got to appreciate the stuff that you have before you start, just buying stuff just to buy things. We got enough exciting things here. We don't need to. But I've been pretty happy the way things turn out. I did desert stuff, turned out well. I did snow stuff. That turned out well. And I will find the tires. They're there. And the rubber. So I just pulled them off and didn't pull the tracks off because the tracks are actually tied in with um, cable. I was gonna say no, they're tied in with nylon thread. So tough. Probably the Panzer II from North Africa from Kulan. I went with a version with bags over the guns. Looks so cool. It can't fire. Why? We got to rip the bag. What? Yeah, actually, on Sunday, I was actually looking through. I knew I was going to paint this counter thing, right? So I wanted to see if I could use desert pink in anything. So I looked for tanks that, use desert pink, like the Valentines. Well, I don't have any Valentines. Well, that is that cool. There is that cool scenario that I brought up before in the past that I found in a wargaming magazine that involved like a four-player game, like two Germans and like a British and an American. And it's some make-believe thing in Tunisia. It's kind of cool, you know. Yeah, that looks pretty fucking amazing. Let's let's pull something out that I haven't pulled out in decades. Let's pull something out I haven't pulled out in decades. Let's put this away, but we don't have a bad spill. I don't even know if this thing's its own publication. I got this thing in the early 90s. And beware, there's crooked spiders in here. It's a book on the Africa Corps. Uniforms, Organizations, and History of the Africa Corps by J.J. Fedorowicz or something like that. Unless that's what it is. I'm not even sure who it's from. Nope, James Bender. The Fedorowicz must be another one that I have. R. James Bender. I don't know that there's any. Let's see if there's any like vehicle fake photographs on here. It smells like it's been around. Yeah, there's some interesting conf group of things. I didn't know that on here. Kampfgruppe Lang, formed shortly before February 8, 1943, as a reserve force for Unternehmungen Frunhilswind. One Panzerjäger Zug, that's a platoon, Kreuzschützenbataillon 10, one Pioneer Zug, two 88mm guns. Interesting. Kampfgruppe Erkens. This Kampfgruppe, also known as Panzer Brigade Erkens, was formed by General Oberst von Arnim on April 24th, 1943. Wow, talk about the end. When he merged nearly all of his remaining armored units into one composite force. On April 28th and 29th, the Gruppe, which was under the personal supervision of the Panzer AOK 5 Commander General von Verst, once more wrested the initiative from the British, regained control of the dominating heights of Jebel Bu Aukaz that stopped the British Fifth Corps advance. Although the Germans had stopped the Allies, they had immobilized their panzer units by using all available fuel. It consisted of Panzer Regiment 5, which is the regiment of the 21st Panzer Division, Panzer Regiment 8, I'm not sure which one that is. Panzer Regiment 8 is 15th, is the corps of the 15th. Panzer Regiment 7, I don't know what it is, but I suspect it's probably the 10th, considering the 10th was the 3rd Panzer Division that went down there. Panzerabteilung Tiger 501, Grenadier Regiment 47, Artillerie Abteilung, Italienische Artillerie Abteilung, two Flak Abteilungen, and Group Aldorf. Interesting. Group of Infantry Regiment 104, Panzerjäger Abteilung 39. That's the one. This is formed on near June 1st, 1942. That was, I believe, the one that had these guys at Gazala. I believe 39 was the one that had that. Anyways, there's interesting stuff in here. But that's, Tunisia is Tunisia. Tunisia's not North Africa to me. Tunisia's Tunisia. Man, there's a lot of. Vehicle camouflage. Why do they show a Stug? You know how many Stugs went to North Africa? Less than 20. They captured Matilda. Okay, so I don't think this is that useful, other than those Kampfgruppen that I wouldn't have known that they would have had those. That was in here. Okay, well, you do what you always do. I mean, I could look through Panzer colors, but so we're going to do a search for SDKFZ 251. Nope. 251 Africa Corps. Images. Okay, here's one with no marking, with no numbers. Here's one with no numbers. That one has no numbers. See the pattern? This one has numbers, but that's not Africa Corps. Oh, this looks nice. That looks really nice. No numbers it is. Oh. It's got 13 on it. Now, all right, so let's go ahead and put the gloss coat where it needs to go to put the decals. The wheels will turn up. I need to stop looking for them. Indeed, stop looking for them? Yeah. Need some bags and storage. I'm just so friggin' lazy about it. I can do them. I could do it afterwards. I just don't want to get bogged down in the minutia and not finish it. I got so many things that could use bags and stowage and. I get analysis paralysis. So I'm gonna put some gloss here in case we want to do the Africa Corps palm symbol there. Okay, I'm going to gloss this whole area here. That's probably where the markings are going to be. And do the same thing on the other side. And do the same thing here. I feel like the gloss coat is the thing that makes the difference more than anything else. More than microsol or microset or any of that stuff. I don't know what we're going to do in the back. So let's just... We're going to cover the whole back in. It's just really thin anyways. It's not super thick. No markings on the front. I may do a marking up here. If I don't use that, then it's not a big deal. I think that's it. And the finish on it looks really good. It's really simple. The stuff I do is really simple. It just has lots of steps. And that's why I noticed other people's stuff that I really, really liked, they had a ton of different steps. I'm like, well, that's why it has all kinds of depth and stuff to it. Need some little helmets. Need some little sun helmets on there. And need some Africa Core dudes too. How's this thing doing? Is it drying? Nope. We don't want to pick any of that stuff up. All right, while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and paint the tracks on this bad boy. Where is the... There it is. It says Camo Black or whatever the hell it's called down. Whatever they changed the name to it so it wasn't an offensive name. Alright, I think I should be able to use this one. I mean, it's rather large, but it's got kind of a good... end on it. So I have a German tank that's the equivalent of the Valentine. And don't get me wrong, I'll probably get Valentines one time, and I'll probably really like them. I just know that from wargaming, the Valentine offers no advantage than to the Matilda. Well, you know, yeah, eventually they put a 6-pounder on the Valentine, but you know, I don't play that time period, or I didn't in the past. That's kind of a moot point for me. You know, it doesn't have as much armor as the Matilda. It moves the same. It doesn't look as good as the Matilda. Especially the Mark 1 and the Mark 2. The later Marks, the Valentine tanks actually look okay. Just the early 2-pounder version. Just they don't look very good. Well, I haven't painted the Dragon 222s yet. So I could do them for North Africa. I probably won't because I need them for Russia also, but you didn't get any of those Panzer IIIs for Russia and North Africa? That's gonna be really tough to get those, man. It's gonna be like, yeah, I want some for both. I want some for both. I really like the way Panzer IIIs look. What time is it? Yeah. Well, I'll stay on here as long as you're on here, Marcus. At least that long. Well, I gotta see what the decals look like on this thing. That's like a tease. Get this far and not put the decals on. Yeah, one Panzer III for North Africa. Did you get a G or the H? Or actually an F. Could do the F as well. Because he makes an F with a 50. They don't. Oh, shit. There. Whew. Good save, sir. You're fading. Need to save some stream for tomorrow. Well, I'm going to put the decals on here for sure. I'm not going this far. I'd like to, like, find these effing tires. You know, it's one of these, like, I don't think this is going to turn out so well. And then you're like, you get to this stage, like, oh, yeah, man, this thing looks awesome. Went with an Alf's G. I would have too. Black. I don't know if I want to be able to stream tomorrow. Probably get sucked in watching the. You know, I don't want to watch the coverage because it's like a false, like, oh, this is going to be this way, and like, you know, they'll be like, okay, we're calling this state for this person, even though there's only 1% of precincts reporting. Like, don't you think that's just a little too early? So. And I've already kind of made up my mind that the person I don't want to win is going to win. So, you know, as long as we don't get involved in a nuclear war or insane inflation, it doesn't really matter that much. Let's just go ahead and cover this whole thing in black here. I would have gone with the G as well. I like the bags that are on the barrels. I don't like the bags that cover the entire end of the barrel. I like the ones that are like that have like the bags that are almost like the bags that they have like on battleships, right? That they cover like the joint, so you don't have all that grit and stuff that gets in there. All right. Decal time. This is the Germans. Okay. And now I get to see if I've got any crooked spiders with palm trees, and I do. Something I hadn't even considered ever putting on them. Well, because it's just not a priority, but I'm like, if I'm going to paint British stuff, somebody's got to find them. So we got to do some eye ties and Germans too. And besides, I'm doing stuff to do stuff. Let's see. We're going to want, I think we might actually do narrow ones. Okay, these are the rodent ones. We'll leave them alone. This is literally just has the 8 on it, okay? Okay, these are the ones from Hasegawa. These crooked spider, these palm trees look pretty darn good. I think those lay pretty late. These are the ones you gave me, Marcus. If I wanted numerals for them, that's probably what I would use. That's my favorite, actually, is the black numerals with the white outlines. German reconnaissance set. Oh, you know what? I got decal sets here for the half track. Is it this one? I think it is. I think it is. That could be that one right there. Okay, none came in there. What's this? Oh, this is the Eschi 251/1. This has the license plates on it and shit. I don't want to go down that slippery slope. I'll leave them here just in case. Okay, we got more of the palm trees. This has it well as well, but does not have the crooked spider on them. So I'd have to paint that. That's from the Hummel, which probably is going to explode as soon as it touches water. Boom! Gone. This is the Hanomag from the B. Also has no crooked spiders. Here's the one with the Africa core. I don't think I want the hollow stars though. The hollow crosses. These might actually work for those crosses. I don't like the narrow ones on many things, and I bet they'll look just fine on this. Oh, petting house. Screw you, pal. Okay. Oh, here it is. This is the decals that came with them. SDK of Z251. Literally, is literally the last one that I got. So you know what? I'm gonna put the decals that came with the damn thing on. I can make it handleless. Not today, pal. Man, these German crosses are big. Let's see if I can pull the instructions. Well, here's they're on a green background. I don't want to do that. We don't need to include green onto that. Let's see if we can go on to ScaleMates and pull on the instructions of the Fujimi 251 and see where they suggest I put these things on there. Might as well put them in the correct place. I mean, I got one to do if I want to do a separate one. Okay, let's go to ScaleMates. Okay, ScaleMates. All right, we're going to do a search for Fujimi SDKFZ 251. Go. From 1974. Instructions. Oh, and it has the pencil mount for the machine gun. I've got it laying around somewhere. So what happens is this squad of Panzer Grenadiers. Normally, it's you got one guy as a driver, and you got one guy up here that's the machine gunner, and then all the other 10 guys are sitting in the back. So literally, this carries 12 folks. When these guys dismount, they end up taking one of the machine guns with them. This is like a spot for the squad machine gun to go in here, the squad MG34 in this case. But you could literally dismount both of them, and there's your Panzer Grenadier squad that has two light machine guns. But then this thing's totally unarmed. Okay. Where's the license plate go? Division mark plate. Up here. Did I put something there? I did. Ha ha! I just look stupid. Alright. Nationality mark. Tactical sign. I'm not going to put a tactical sign. I don't do those type of things. Oh, there's license plates on all Defenders? Well, that's just going bananas. That's just taking things too far. Just like the Germans taking things too far. Well, if I use this big old symbol, I don't think it's going to fit on here. Let me cut it close and see if it physically fits on here. I don't think it will. No. No, that's way too big. And I definitely want it to have black in it. So let's pull some. set that's white. Maybe I should just do it in white, not with a black center. You get like three Vermont vehicles. All right, well let's get some water out here. Let's start messing with these decals. Right back. I guess I should start putting together a squad of the Africa Corps guys. I got enough plastic figures. I think the plastic figures will work just fine. I'm a little leery. I mean, they all look good, so that's not the problem. And I'm talking about soft plastic. I'm not talking about the other ones. I'm talking really about the old ones. I think the ones that you gave me actually should work just fine. They're pretty tight. I wasn't using the newest one. Okay. So we're gonna need license plates. They both. How is that gonna fit on the back there? Fujimi. And one of the ones that I have, I'm missing the machine gun. So I'm actually going to take the 37 millimeter that comes with this and make that one a 37 millimeter one. This. Download. Yeah, download it again, I guess. Okay. I don't know how this African Corps symbol is going to fit in there because it's in the place that they want it to go. But there's two of them here. So that's definitely going to go. And we'll get this lowest numbered one here. But this decal's actually got a lot of space around it. So I'm going to cut it down. Actually, even better than this, because this gives a little bit. Let's do something that's inflexible, or more inflexible. Okay. Yeah, we'll use this. Nah, I want them to have the black. I want them to have the black ones. I want the black ones. Man, the petting house sucked. I don't want to do that. Where are the ones that I have from Skytrex? I don't remember coming across those. Well, we'll look for that in a second. I'm pretty sure that that's the first thing we put in there. Africa Corps symbols are in there. We got to be careful. Well, we got another couple ones. Micro set. Man, slow evening. We're going to attempt to put it here. I don't know that we're going to be successful. We're going to attempt to put the Africa Corps symbol there. Now, I'm not going to fuck it up like I did last time. It's way too large. It's way too large for that location. So we're going to put it up here. And we'll move the cross further back. And we'll do the same over on this side. And we're going to have to blur these pictures on the internet. I don't want any trouble. Okay, and a little bit. license plate here. You don't want these guys pulling you over. Because guaranteed this cop's a Nazi. I'm not going to put those little tags on there. It just, they don't even look right. Now, if I use the hollow ones, I could put them over here, but I'm going to put the, this is just too large. I can't make this big. I don't know where they expected you to put this on, but it's too close to the edge. Well, fuck it, let's try it. Let's see what happens. Famous last words. Let's see what happens. All right, you think you're gonna clean your brushes, pack it for tonight, be up tomorrow if you are on. Okay. Well, yeah, we'll just see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. I'm not gonna make any promises. I honestly don't know. Oh. Oh, you know what? And we're going to put that one in the back because I forgot to cut this down to size. So I'm going to do that here. Cut the film down to size. Let's cut this in half. Okay. Cut that down. And let's do the same thing with this last one. And we're going to move this away from the African core symbol. Just so there's some, they're not like two things right on top of each other. Might be too big. Maroon? Oh, we're over here in Africa playing with the Africa Corps. Everybody likes Africa. Everybody in the U.S., everybody in the U.S. that I've encountered, nobody dislikes North Africa. It's so classic. There we go. Let's be careful moving this thing over. Now we're going to use some of this micro set. Let's put it over here. We're going to move it a little bit over this way. And then I'm going to have to stand away from this and see if I like it. I'm going to put it even with this third box. Even with a third box. You're making oak camo for some Normandy troops. You're off making SS, huh? I haven't done them yet. I do look forward to the challenge of painting that, but oh, this is the one that has a little wrinkle on it. There's a little wrinkle on the decal. Well, there was a wrinkle on the decal. You can't tell it now. This one needs to move a little bit. And moved again. There we go. And then on the back, I don't know that splitting it is the way to go, but let's give it a shot. I actually like that. Although I'm probably, when I'm done with this, I'm probably going to split the decal in two. Oh, shift it a little bit. Shifty Shiftelstein. It's relatively simple once you get it down. The more complicated part is making the helmet covers with some putty. Oh man, you're like making. What scale are you working on? You don't do the same scale I do you? You may. Nothing wrong with that. The one true scale. Okay, there's the Balkenkreuz on the back. Now we're leaving the big cross like that. You know, you don't want somebody firing at this thing. You got some long distances you can see in the desert. You don't want somebody to laying down fire on these guys. I was like, it's my own people. Well, I gotta find these tires before I can go any further. I don't know where the hell they are. I mean, I'll find them. I thought they were here with the other ones. Got all the extra tracks for the 251s. Now, they're here somewhere. They will turn up. That's more energy that I got right now. But I did think about something, and now I gotta look at this now. So I gotta get to my plastic figures and see if I could make a squad of Africa Corps guys. If I have to make a squad of Africa Corps guys, which guys would I use? And that's assuming this desert wrap paints up okay. So let me get my plastic figures. Just put things back where they belong, but you guys get me excited and I don't want to take too long. I guarantee I'll find those wheels by this weekend. I'd taken the wheels off that thing years ago. Nope, not there. This is the junk stuff. I don't know why they'd be on this side, but I'll look over here. Nope. Come on, there's a whole big bag of them. Not here. Not here. Not here. Here they are. All your work is 20 millimeter. Yeah, baby. Not too small, not too large for your liking. Takes up minimal space. And it's what they used to have. So, I know we got lots of desert rats. These Japanese. These guys are Africa Corps. Those are Airfix Africa Corps guys. I have a few odds and ends, and I think that's it, from Matchbox. Nobody else is Africa Corps. I could use regular German infantry for them, but I'm not going to. Let's see what we got this Africa Corps wise. I actually like the sculpting of these things a lot. No, we're not going to use the surrender monkey, dude. That guy's surrendering. That guy's useless. So, I got a couple different ones, and I have these from my youth, from my utes. from the 1980s. So there's actually a couple different packs. Some of them are harder than others, so we want to use those harder guys for sure. But I don't know that they have. Well, what do we have for the squad leader? Because that's going to be the real problem. Oh, I thought I had a guy running. I may not have a squad leader guy. Because I don't want to use one of those guys with the machine pistols. That's the make-believe brand of machine pistol. MP41s. Not make-believe, but they're really, really rare. Alright, so if I had to pick for these guys, we've got a rifleman here. Okay? Or this guy. Who's got the better rifle? I think that guy. Okay? We have this guy that is thrusting with a helmet. That's 2. We've got another close combat. I'm not loving those close combat guys. I mean, they're okay figures. We got a standing rifleman. Okay? This machine gunner is lame. He's not even firing. He's carrying it. And one of these guys with the potato mashers is throwing it. Okay. Just a regular rifle dude marching. I don't mind having repeat figures, but I need to have all of the variations before we start repeating anybody. Prone guys, I don't really want to get into the prone guys. Do I have one of those prone MG42? Yeah, I do. I do. Here's the figure that we call the Rommel figure, even though it's not Rommel. He's too big of an officer. We don't need that right now. He's not going to be coming out of one of these half tracks. So alternatively, here's the machine gunner, and we can use an assistant guy that's on the ground. Or even this guy right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're good. We just need a squad leader. We've got a couple guys with MP40s, and I don't have them. I don't have an Africa Corps garb. I've got 2 Matchbox guys only. Where'd this guy come from? He's got a lot of freaking grenades. Rather large figure, actually. He's not wearing Africa Corps boots or none of that. This guy just has a rifle, and it looks like I painted him way back when. Left them the base color and painted him. This guy's like a squad leader type dude, but this guy's missing part of his arm. I had one that was like the guy running. Okay, do we have all of the above? No, we don't have one of these. We don't have one of these guys. Kind of on a march attack. Do I only have one? Nope, here's another one. Who's got the better rifle? This one. Okay, so I probably need to pull these guys off to the side, and you know, I don't need to use a guy with a shovel. Even though he's got, oh, the guy with a shovel's got some weird submachine gun. I never noticed that before. I always liked this guy throwing the grenade. Okay, so I'm going to set these guys out here because they're totally usable. As long as the paint sticks to them, they should be all right. Yeah, the Matchbox ones are not hard plastic. They're soft as well, but I only have like 2 of them. I think some of this stuff I inherited from somebody else I used to play with as a kid. I mean, I'm talking about, I got these from like 1981 or something like that. Like, they're really, really old. And I never bought Matchbox figures. They weren't Matchbox figures weren't available anywhere I was at. They were all MPC actually. That's how Airfix was marketed here in the in my area of the United States. Oh, actually looks pretty decent. But I'm gonna let those dry, and we'll do an overbrush with them. We'll do a dry brush over the decals there in the morning probably. I gotta find those. I gotta find those tires because the color on this is really what I was looking for. Actually, we're not done yet because I still need to do rust drippings and stuff. So, but we're getting there. It's gonna look really good. It's gonna look really good, and I'm probably gonna do my Africa vehicles like this. I'm not gonna do them gray. I'm probably gonna do them. Well, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that sand color and I'm gonna dry brush one level higher on this, and this will look fine too. You know, little pans or two. So we'll take a fit photo of this, and then we're gonna stop for the night. See if I can get this in a place where I don't have that shine. Hard to get that right. Okay, folks. Well, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you guys. My older Africa core was very bright. If I go back to it, I'll definitely change the color. Yeah. Yeah, I think that this strong tone is the secret. I think the secret of everything is the strong tone and multiple layers of dry brushing. Just makes it all kind of, whoop. Good catch. Except I lost the turret hatch. We need to glue that. Maybe I should just do it closed until I come up with a tank commander figures, which I haven't bought yet. Okay, folks. Well, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.